Hello, I'm Mitchell Cook and this presentation is going to provide some detail on my final year project. My project will be on analysing different techniques for visualising fluid flow through a reducer and performing a practical analysis on a chosen technique. The study is following on from what Stuart Jonathan Norrath found in his master's thesis, an investigation into the relationship between scale growth rate and flow velocity of a supersaturated caustic illuminate solution. The thesis looks at how adding a reducer to a pipeline at QAL in Gladstone will affect the scale growth rate. It was theorized that the reducer would slow down the growth rate as the velocity of the supersaturated caustic flowing through the pipeline would increase, thus reducing the time the fluid had to create scale. However, the findings from this project followed quite a different outcome. Instead of reducing the scale growth rate, it was increased. Stuart proposed 4 different hypotheses as to why this occurs. They are a notch formed at a flange joint creates a scale forming point, sudden contraction in the reducer flow separation, suppressed eddies reducing vortexes, bursting into boundary layer, and physical properties of the reducer. My thesis is based on the third hypothesis, and it is focused on how the forces are produced by the fluid passing through a reducer affect the boundary layer. This hypothesis details how the force vortices that are created by the sudden increase in the velocity of the fluid ruptures the boundary layer inside the pipe. This destruction of the boundary layer is what is hypothesized to cause the increase in scale growth rate. As modeling the boundary layer using numerical methods can take a substantial amount of time, more than is allowed for this thesis, a practical approach to this problem will be undertaken. This approach will involve the practical visualization of the fluid flow in the pipe and how a reducer affects the flow. This data will be analyzed with respect to the boundary layer and how it is affected. This approach will entail the following steps. Research into different methods of flow visualization, determining the best method to test based on its effectiveness and cost, test the method, review results, and analyze the data with respect to the boundary layer. There are several different methods of flow visualization that are currently being used for research and development purposes. Some of these are laser Doppler velocimetry, particle image velocimetry, molecular tracking velocimetry, which includes fluorescence, phosphorescence, and laser-induced fluorescence, and constant temperature anemometry. All these techniques have their own advantages and disadvantages, and further research into each method is required to know which one will best suit this project. Once the method is chosen, a suitable test rig will need to be constructed. The test rig will utilize the rig that was used by Stuart for his master's thesis. However, any new materials and equipment that will be required for the flow visualization method chosen will need to be priced and acquired. Finally, the results of the testing will be analysed with respect to how the flow of the supersaturated caustic will flow through reducer affects the boundary layer. Thank you.